Hello, this is Anthony again with a little bit of a show and tell. What I really wanted to make a video on tonight was to show you a little bit about what has become my new interest, and that is making lightsabers. Now, I had no idea there was so much of a massive lightsaber community out there, but I first got the idea when I was recently round at an old girlfriend's house, and both her and her daughter had bought these toy lightsabers and they were playing with them, and I thought, actually they are really cool. And I did a few searches and started looking into them and actually found out there's something called a Graflex, which used to be an old camera flash, and they were incorporated into lightsaber builds, and this was actually the first thing you ever saw in this was the first lightsaber you saw in A New Hope. And from that moment I was grabbed. It piqued my interest. So I went ahead and researched it for the next 2 or 3 months and came up with, my versions of what I wanted to do. Because there seem to be two main types out there. There's the LED strip, which fires up and starts at the bottom and goes towards the tip. And then there's the LED base loaded lightsaber, which illuminates the blade all at once. I wanted to build one of each because I was interested in the technology, basically. So what I want to do is show you what I've made. Now, my first build, I was really lucky, and I took my time because I wanted, it needed to be an original Graflex body. And so I took my time, and thankfully, over about 4 months, I managed to find a separate top and a separate base. Now, for the first build, I wasn't prepared to pay what somebody wanted for a Graflex clamp, an original Graflex clamp. So that's supplied by the Graflex shop, which actually it's fantastic. It's really nice. Let me show you. I might have to flip this camera around the other way, so please excuse me. I just found out how to do this. No, anyway, let's just turn it round. There you go. I believe you can see that. This is the first build that I made. It's an original Graflex body, at lower and top, and it's nicely battle worn. Just very slightly marked, nicely battle worn. For the aficionados out there, I still have to grind this down a little bit. The little glass eye, because it's sitting a little bit proud, but that small detail for now I'm not bothered about, but it looks nice, and it's a New Hope version, as you can tell by the you'll probably be able to tell by the calculator bubble strip. There we go, and the right orientation of the clamp, and the fact that it does have a glass eye, and everything else is right. The sliding switch is a dummy. I made this myself. This doesn't move at all. Everything's activated from the main switch. And, well, let's go through the motions. So, this is made with a WS2812B LED strip. And this is a bit of the offcut that I've got left. I believe it's a 144, which means that there are 144 of these LED modules per metre. And that's where it gets its name from. But anyway, let's do a bit of a show and tell. Here we go. Very nice. Nice startup, nice and bright. Does everything it should. Excellent. It's really bright. It's nice. I like it. Very nice. Now, just to run you through a little bit of the spec. Right, okay. So this incorporates, I used a Nano Biscotti version 4, which comes with the sound card supplied, and it's got 3 separate fonts on it, which are really, really easily scrollable. And as I said earlier, I used that back to back, and you can get this for about 18 quid for I think it's a metre strip, so not that expensive. In fact, I thought it was actually damn good value for money, and that's the WS2812B 144 LED strip. The separately addressable multicolour LED dies, and they are absolutely brilliant. And there's 2 of those in the blade. They are back to back and then covered with thin white foam. Does a great job of dispersing the light. Let me just run you through the colours. Go through the fonts here. You can probably hear that. It's really nice and loud. So there's the blue. And it's really nice and bright. Okay. So because I've got 3 fonts, I've stuck with the 3 main colours. There's green, blue and red, and I've just ramped each one up to its maximum. But that's my favourite. Check that out. That's the green. That is really bright. The camera doesn't do it justice. It really doesn't do it justice. This is really bright. And that's a really bright flash and clash as well. Yeah, it's good. So let's go through back to the original colour, which is red, which will be the Sith blade. Again, nice and... The camera is compensating for this, by the way. And that is so bright. And the flicker is just immense, and you can hear that. Nice and loud. So, okay. So, that's the kind of thing you expect when you marry up one of the new Nano Biscotti V4s, or version 4s, with WS2812B NeoPixel blade. That's what you can expect. Now, I wanted to build 2, and one was with a NeoPixel blade, and one was with the base loaded LED. And it took me a long time. I went with the Tri-Crease, which cost about £25 sterling a time. They're really expensive. I eventually went with these, and no doubt people who are used to building lightsabers, they'll be used to seeing something like this. Let's just get it under the light. Oh, it's not focusing that well. There we go. It's a little Cree XML quad colour. Now these have your red, green and blue, and there's also a white dye in there, and these are about £5 sterling each. Amazing value, and I tell you what, the light output is phenomenal. The only dye you have to resist in this is the red, and if you figure it out using Ohm's law, because every die has a 350 milliamp draw, you only have to use one 10 amp resistor, one 10 ohm resistor on the red die, because an 18650 battery will power all the other dies at nominal voltage, and you only have to resist the red. And I worked it out to be a 10 ohm resistance on the red circuit and it works really well. What I actually ended up doing was wiring because there's only the option for wiring 3 colours up. Only it's got 4 colours, so I wired in parallel the white and blue dye, and it gives a great effect. But for £5, I'd go for this every single day. I really would. And it's really difficult trying to get that into focus, but see if there's any better angle I can get it at. But you can tell what it is. It's a quad colour Cree XML. Great value for money. Let me show you. Okay, so this is my base loaded lightsaber. It's actually, as its brain, it has a Warsabers Cerberus, and pretty big card, really nice and long, but some really cool effects in it. Let me show you. Here we go. I've gone with the yellow blade. I do like blue blades, but the yellow blade effect on this is absolutely beautiful. It's really nice. And also, if I can just go down to the side there, you see the little slide button on the Graflex, because you've got to have 2 buttons on the Cerberus. This is fantastic, because it's the blaster blocking colour, and this is really bright. It's a really bright blue. Do you know, remember I said I wired the blue and white dyes up together in series? That's like a camera flash. That is really nice. And it has another interesting effect. I mean, if you press the main button there, it's got your clash effect. Flash on clash. Which is really nice. And has some really cool sounds out the bottom. Bearing in mind, because we've used a quad colour LED, this will scroll through any colour. Let me just, I'm not sure whether the camera will pick it up, but let me just show you.
Settings. Next color.
Next colour, we're getting into the greens.
Next color.
Although the camera won't really show this. Greeny blues now. And then we're into the royal blue. And then the deep blue, almost a UV blue.
Next color.
And that is really bright. That is, I wouldn't know how to class that. A turquoise blue.
Next color.
And then bluey purple.
Next color.
Purpley pinkish.
Next color.
Okay, greeny pinkish weird colour. I don't know. Teal, is it? Teal, green, blue, whatever.
Next color.
And then we're getting onto the reds. This is more your a light pink, it looks like.
Next color.
And then red.
Next
And
color.
then a crimsony, yellowy, reddy colour.
Next color.
And then a yellowy green colour, which is one of the brightest ones. The way I've got this wired up, by the way, and this is my favourite. And that scrolled through them all.
Save.
But some really awesome sounds and some really awesome blocking effects. So those are my 2 builds. Just a quick recap. Nano Biscotte version 4. Download the manual, you'll need it. With a WS2812B 144 per metre addressable LED strip. Great project, absolutely brilliant project. It made even better by the fact that I managed to source an original Graflex lower and an original Graflex top, nicely battle worn. Yeah, and I fabricated this switch myself. This is static. This doesn't move, but it's just there for it's just there to look pretty, basically. And this was, let me just show you now. I'm not really prepared for this, I think. So the body of this build, the base loaded LED build, was from KR Sabers. And it's a Graflex saber kit. One with the sliding ancillary button on the side. And it's been a great kit to work with. I've got to admit, no problems whatsoever. And I cannot distinguish it from the original Graflex body, which has got to be a plus. So, hope you've liked my video. As I say, I mean, I'm new to saber building, but I'm trying my best. I never even realised there was that much of a massive community out there, but they've been a great help. Absolutely brilliant bunch of people. Right, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope this has maybe inspired you if you're thinking about building a lightsaber. Bearing in mind, I started with this. And I was inspired by an old girlfriend who was messing around with one, with their daughter, and it was just a laugh. It was just fun. So, anyway, get on with your builds. Make sure you upload them, because people actually do learn stuff from what you upload, and it's the way I learned. Anyway, you take care. Till next time, how?